So today I have something a little bit different for you. I want to do a show and tell on some of my abstract attempts I did on canvas and canvas boards. Now some of these projects I did rather recently, some I did quite some time back, but none of these made it into one of my videos for one reason or another. So I'm hoping that by showing them to you, you can still get some ideas. I did work a lot with texture on these and used all kinds of unusual things to do so, and I will give you a good explanation how these came about. So I hope you will enjoy it. It will be inspiring and fun. So here we go. I will start with the oldest one first. I did this, I think it must be nearly 2 years ago, and at the time a friend of mine gave me all these little flower die cuts. I have still a few of them left and I show them to you here. I think those were the main designs she had in all kinds of colors. So I kept them in their original color, as you can see here, and just kind of helped them blend together all across the canvas. I added 3 different colors to the background of the canvas, and here on the top I created some texture which goes all the way here to the bottom, and for that I used the ghost layers of napkins and lots of acrylic paints. Up here I also added some salt. I don't know if you can see it or if my camera picks it up. Now it is all sealed in, and then 3 of the flowers are added at the very end, and they are a bit dimensional and they have a little black bling right in the middle. So this was one of my first creations which I would think will pass as an abstract. It is very different to what I do today, but I thought you might like to see it. I think many of us have tiny little die cuts which may come in handy to create a nicely textured piece of art. And here is piece number 2. Now I made this one also quite some time ago, and I believe it got overworked a little bit, because when you first start with abstracts, it's really hard to come to a point where you're completely satisfied. So this one has a lot of texture. I used some cheesecloth to create most of it, and I believe you can see the fibers all across it. I used acrylic paints and I used my fingers to do all the coloration, and then I also used some string gel to add more texture. Now you can get this effect also with the hot glue gun and your glue. And after everything was dry, I added the dimensional paint. It came in one of these tubes in black, and it gives it a little bit more texture. And then I added these circles with glossy white acrylic paints, and the color I added beneath it came through a bit. So there are a lot of elements in there. It is a bit unruly and a bit busy, but here it is. And on to number 3. Now this I made more recently, and I used my palette knife here, which in the meantime is really one of my favorite tools to use in creating abstracts. I also used heavy body acrylic paints and all kinds of different shades of red and pink on this side and blue and teal on this side. I did the faded center and also used my palette knife to make these black figures, which could be houses, it could be boats, it can be anything you like it to be. I finished it up by adding a border, and yeah, that's it. A more smaller size abstract, and on to the next one. Now piece number 4 has a similar color combo, although I added black over here and some purple here and down on the bottom. Otherwise, again, it's blue and teal and white and pinks. I then moved the colors about a bit with my fingers, created somewhat of a center point, and then added cling wrap, which I let dry on the canvas. And then when you peel it off, you get this really great texture. I hope my camera can pick it up. It's all over the canvas. And then I added some triple gloss to it to give it this shiny kind of space-like effect. It kind of created itself by using the cling wrap, but it was fun to play with color and texture. So there's this one. Now piece number 5 gave me a real headache. I think I reworked this piece a few times, and now I'm left with a rather heavy layer of acrylic paints. Again, I used my palette knife. It has a pleasing dark brown reddish background, colorful center, and then I had just bought this clear gel texture paste at a second-hand art store, so I got it rather cheaply and wanted to try it out, and it does leave a very nice see-through, very textured effect. Now I'm sure if I show it to you like this, you can hardly see it, but if I tilt it, I think you can see that I created some circles using a stencil. Now I'm still not sure if that was really the best choice, but it was a fun piece to try this texture stuff out, and I went ahead and used it again on my next piece, as you will see in a moment. Now on canvas number 6, which is the last piece I will show you today, I went all out in creating texture and started out by using these cardboard circles, which originally were part of ribbon spools, and I had a whole bunch of these in different sizes. So I glued them on here, having them overlap a bit. I then added a thin layer of texture paste all over, and then colored the middle part here with black gesso and added highlights by using teal acrylic metallic paint and my dry brush. I then wanted more texture and used again this gel texture paste here, the same one I used on my last canvas. But this time I decided to color it after it was all really dry. For that I used my pigment powders and my alcohol inks, which gave it very bright color from gold to green to orange and red and some bronze over here. I did a little highlight just using white acrylic paints, and I used the pigment powders also to complete the background, including some of the shading I did. I added a black frame, and this is another abstract completed. This was my show and tell, and I really hope that my explanations were clear enough and that you enjoyed the video. I would really appreciate some feedback from you on the different pieces, as these are definitely the ones I double guess myself on, and that's one reason why they did not make it into their individual video. Thank you so much for coming today. I really appreciate it. I see you soon again, and bye bye for now.